Hi everyone, my name is Jackie. I'm the mom from Smith Family Travels. Well, it's almost summertime, which means road trip season. I know that a lot of families are planning road trips for this summer, and we're going to be taking a couple as well. Road trips are a great way to travel and see new sights that you may not be able to see if you're actually taking a flight to the destination. It's very affordable, and you can take everything with you and not have to worry about flight costs or paying for baggage. And it's a great way to create lasting memories with your family. We've taken quite a few road trips over the years and we've learned from our experiences. And so on this video, we want to show you how to plan for the perfect road trip. Tip number one, get a tune-up for your vehicle. So this might not be the most fun tip, but it is the most essential. We were on a family road trip, one of our longest. It was a 24-hour road trip from Ontario to Florida when the kids were much younger. This was probably, 10, 15 years ago. And we had a fairly new minivan. And so we didn't bother getting a tune-up because I think we had bought it like within a couple of years, and I don't know. We just didn't get a tune-up or get it checked before we left. And we were driving in Dayton, Ohio, driving through Dayton, Ohio on a Sunday. And I was actually driving and we heard this huge noise and it didn't sound good. So, make a long story short, we had to leave our vehicle in Dayton, Ohio with a mechanic who was a godsend because he told us that he wanted us to have a great family vacation. So we left our vehicle with him. We had to rent another minivan to drive to Florida. We actually ended up finding out from that mechanic that it was actually a recall part on our minivan. So he actually contacted the vehicle manufacturer, who didn't want to pay for the recalled item because we're Canadian and they wanted us to bring our minivan back to Canada to get the part fixed for free. He dealt with them in the US and got our car fixed while we had our fun time in Florida. If we had took the time to take our minivan to the car dealership or the mechanic at home before we went on vacation, they would have been able to realize that there was a recall on a part, get it fixed, and then all of that mishap, would have been avoided. Tip number two, bring lots of snacks. So, whether it's a 2-hour, 4-hour, 6-hour, 16-hour, we've done it all, road trip, you need to make sure that you have more than enough food for when the kids or even you are feeling hungry and you're driving down that highway and there are, no rest stops with restaurants or you don't want to stop. So I pack lunches for everyone, their own separate kind of snack bags, and I will put things like crackers and cheese and chips and apples and oranges and all types of fruits that are easy to eat on the drive, and drinks as well. We have a little cooler that actually plugs into the car's cigarette lighter and it keeps things cool. It's a very slim line cooler, and so we pack a lot of things that need to stay cool in there, and then everybody else has their own little snack bags. Of course, we stop at a restaurant or at a fast food place if we want an actual meal. But for those times when you're on a 24-hour drive and you just want to get there and you want to drive for 6 hours or 8 hours straight without stopping, it's a good idea to pack a lot of snacks, a lot of variety of snacks that both you and the kids can, be satiated while you keep driving. Tip number three, pack some essentials. So there's going to be spills, that there's going to be a lot of garbage. Somebody might be sick. So we bring, garbage bags. We bring wipes, hand sanitizer, of course. We bring lots of nausea pills. We bring a lot of medication, Advil for us and Advil for the kids. Ginger candy in case someone is feeling nauseous and they don't want to take a nausea pill. Ginger ale. Nausea is real. Me and my son, actually, we never used to get nauseous on car rides, and then all of a sudden, If we're on a long car ride, we can get pretty nauseous. So I make sure that we have all those things, including barf bags as well. Just get paper bags and just put it into those little pocket seats behind each seat, and you're good to go. Tip number 4, prepare all those devices for that road trip. So our kids range in age from 10 to 23, but I mean, we've been traveling and doing road trips from the time that our youngest was, well, before he was born actually. Now we have much more variety as to downloading movies and TV shows from like Netflix, and we can have all those things on our devices, especially for the 10-year-old. The other two, they look after themselves and they download a bunch of movies and TV shows and series, and it really occupies their time when we're on a long road trip. Also, make sure that you charge everything before you leave, and you make sure that you have portable chargers as well. Each of us has our own portable chargers for when our devices are dying. Now, we do have some USB ports in the vehicle, but it's not enough for the 5 of us. So having that extra power is really essential. For our youngest, I'll also pack an activity bag. So I'll put crayons, pencil crayons, coloring books, notepads, a lot of books, so that he's not on a device for the entire road trip. And a variety is good for them to not get bored during those long drives. Tip number 5, get good sleep the night before and know when to take a break. Now, I know that this can be difficult because you're all excited to get on that road trip and get to that destination, but getting good sleep the night before will make everyone a lot more tolerant for that long road trip. Now, I know that for me, I can be quite cranky and I can't really function that well without like 6 hours of solid sleep. And our youngest as well, if you're traveling with young kids, they can get quite cranky on long road trips if they didn't get enough sleep. So that's really key. And also know when to take a break, especially for the driver. So if you have more than one driver and you decide to do 4 or 5 hours per driver, which is what we usually do, if you're the driver and you start to get tired before your time is up, don't try to muscle your way through. You don't want to fall asleep while you're driving. Like, that is just the worst thing ever. So there are times when I'm driving and after 3 hours, I'm like, I'm tired and I need to take a break, or we need to switch. And if you only have one driver, you can always go to a parking lot in a plaza or a Walmart parking lot, which we've done. And sometimes the driver just needs a 20 hour. Sometimes the driver just needs a 20-minute power nap, and that's all you need to just kind of perk you back up, and you can just get back on that road. Tip number 6 is don't overpack the vehicle. So when we go on vacations, we're usually taking a flight, and so of course we're quite restricted on what we can bring because we try to travel with carry-on. But when you're in a minivan, well, a lot of times we have packed the kitchen sink. We've packed so much because we have no restrictions. But the problem with that is, if someone needs to stretch their legs or just need room on those long road trips, it can be a hassle. It can be uncomfortable if there's too many things in the minivan. So just make sure that you're packing exactly what you need and don't overpack. Plus, when you're on that vacation, when you get to your destination, you also have to take into account that you might be buying things there that you want to have room in the vehicle to bring back. So you might be tempted to overpack, but just bring the essentials. Tip number 7, factor in washroom, meal, and stretch breaks. So if you plan on traveling for 6, 8, 10 hours, of course you're gonna have to stop to use the washroom or get a meal, and you definitely need stretch breaks. So a lot of times we look for Walmarts, and they have relatively clean washrooms. We don't go to washrooms in a gas station because we've had some traumatic experiences there. So it's usually a Walmart washroom. You can use the washroom. It might be in a plaza, so we can get some like a lunch or dinner. And a lot of times we just walk the aisles as well, maybe for 10 to 15 minutes. Everybody can stretch and just maybe walk the outside in the parking lot as well, get some fresh air, and then get back into the vehicle and continue on your road trip. And our final tip is to get off the highway every once in a while and take a scenic route. Now, I know that this might add some time to your road trip, but I think it's really worth it, especially if you're passing through a small town or you're passing through somewhere that you know there's a lot of beautiful scenery, and it really adds to the experience of the road trip. And it'll make for when you get back on the highway, it'll make it a little more tolerable for everyone. So if these tips were helpful to you, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Until next time, this is Jackie from Smith Family Travels, wishing you happy and safe travels.